well. They don't have too hard of an opponent left in terms of strength of schedule, so they might climb up just by having a bad start.
I mean, you got to think of what Cloud9's getting ready to do. They have the reverse sweep all over once again, right? So I got to be thinking about that now. Just kidding. We're going to get into this one. Cloud9's probably going to get themselves seated very nicely as they round out the end of the summer split here. 10-6 to the 1-5 Fox matchup. Anivia, Zillion off the board, as we've been seeing quite a bit of the Time Lord recently.
Yeah, exactly. And Cloud9, they actually, like we said, have control of their own destiny. If they 2-0 Fox here today, they actually lock Liquid into 5th place, regardless of what the result is tomorrow or what CLG ends up doing, because CLG is 2-0 over Team Liquid, and they could upset that team. Also, Cloud9, if they don't drop games from here on out, they will be your 3rd place team.
I'm sure that's exactly what they have on the top of the docket. Getting ready to check off Sivir, Ashe. I've been wondering when both of these 80 carries are actually going to find themselves on the ban list. Usually it's the Sivir as a last ban for a team, and the Ashe will fall somewhere in the comp. Not this time. It's going to bring it down to the Jhin and something else, maybe an Ezreal, as well as that Vladimir getting banned out.
Yeah, expect that Malzahar to come through as well. 91% prevalence for that champion. And also, if Cloud9 take it, you have to wonder, is your Zillion up to date? And if you take it, Jensen's the one who was busting out the Zillion versus Malzahar and said it's a great, comfortable champion.
Also, junglers, top laners, loving this pick and ban phase as they come through completely clean.
Yeah, it's going to be Rek'Sai first, I assume, from Meteos here. And then that's going to leave hard for maybe the Gragas that he's been favoring. Hecarim has been coming back a bit as well.
Yeah. I see Hard not scared to go in, likes to play the Elise, propel into a fight, rush in with a horse, either or. He knows what to do on the back line, so that fits him quite well. Seeing a jungler, however, they don't have to pick that right away. We'll see if it's the 80 carry that wants priority here.
Probably not going to pick 280 carries. I assume that they go with a Jhin to take it away from Sneaky. Also, it's kind of risky to pick your Jhin early on, but it is really that utility 80 carry that's left when Sivir and Ashe are both taken off of the table, so you may see a champion like that come through early on.
I think it does fit Keith. Obviously, these guys have all continued to play the champions as they are released. And he's always that Tristana player we used to remember as well. In the back line, being a huge carry for the team. We'll see if he can start off fights with that curtain call now on the Jhin. Also, the Karma being picked up.
Yeah, take it away from Sneaky. Very proficient on that champion. 280 carry bans, you see that come through. So the Jhin is that last utility one left in that trinity of those top tier 80 carries. And then the Karma flex pick as well. We have seen some teams run it in the mid lane to mixed effect, but definitely think it'll enable a lot more of the team as they go down. If you do pick up a Hecarim, it's great alongside that champion, and it allows you to play things in the mid lane. Maybe a little less mobile, like Cassiopeia for Froggen.
Yeah, both mobile champions have really been taken out here. The Zillion and the Sivir probably won't be seen too much throughout the entire set of these 3 games if we see it. Cloud9 hoping to make it too. And it's going to be Shen and the Tempered Fate from Bard picked up. So they actually give themselves a for sure engage if they want it here on the side of Cloud9.
Yeah, and Smoothie's Bard has actually been quite good.
Yeah.
And this makes you think about that Cassiopeia pick if you want to take it for Froggen, because you're easy to catch out. And if you take it this early as well, you do risk getting counterpicked. So I assume they leave Froggen for last pick here. They pick their top laner, and then they think about it just a little bit more and get a better lay of the land. Because if you pick the Cassiopeia, you can pick Talia into it. And Jensen has shown that he is willing to play that champion.
That's true. Something we see banned against TSM and Cloud9 quite frequently is that Talia. It's gone all the way through with 4 mid lane bans still on the board. Shen and Rek'Sai give Cloud9 such global presence already. Being able to hover the other side of the map, Void Rush back, and a Stand United means KFO and the rest of the team are going to have to really think about their teleport plays and where they even engage on the map with a group of people. Looks like it could be Gragas locked in. Not sure about the Gangplank, though. It will actually be locked in.
Yeah, I actually like both these picks with the Rek'Sai being taken away. Hard next down the tier list for him will be the Gragas. Not so much those aggressive junglers like the Hecarim, but it does give them a front line. It allows them to pick a damage-dealing top laner, and that's the Gangplank. The Gangplank up against the Shen matchup, it's really brutal for Shen. He can't really do anything during the early game. There may be a lane swap coming out here from Cloud9, because Gangplank gets a free farm lane. He actually gets to harass you as well. And then later on, he does have the armor penetration on his barrels that make it really hard for Shen to still survive despite being so tanky.
And that's what we got to keep an eye on is later on, right? Echo Fox loves to play the later on game. Look at the guy in the mid lane. It is Froggen. We'll see what he chooses to charge up on this one. We did just see some Xerath play. Froggen's been known to do that, so may actually round out the composition if that karma is not his. Seeing on the side of Cloud9 as they get their last 2 picks, as we see the AD carries further and further down the list. It is Ezreal for Sneaky and that Cassiopeia for Jensen.
Yeah, and we'll see what ends up going over to Froggen here. You would want something like a Victor, have that wave clear, and yeah, that's what it's going to be.
I don't even have to think about it. Just give me the Victor. Lock it in. Also something he can really change the tide of a fight with. A nice Chaos Storm, a good laser placement, and Froggen can really help to carry this team. KFO, however, is also bringing DPS from the top lane, and Big can bring that with Karma in the bottom. So there is actually a lot of power on this side of Fox, but can they keep up with this global pressure of the Cloud9 squad?
Yeah, and Cloud9 has a lot of in-combat CC that you have to pay attention to and have to be weary of, because this Cassiopeia will get to a point where she can stand there, and then if your damage isn't high enough, it's a damage check, and she can stand there, use her Seraph's Embrace, she'll end up having your backline tempered faded, and then she might even get a Shen shield on top of it. So you have to be very careful with how far ahead Jensen gets in this game, if he does. But we've seen Cloud9 struggle and falter when you camp Jensen, and that should be what Fox are looking for this game.
Coaches leaving off on game 1. We're seeing pretty regular compositions in what will be the strategies coming out of both teams, so nothing new here as we enter into our games in week 9, at least from these two. We've opened up the polls on Twitter, so contribute your vote using the hashtag C9win or the hashtag FOXwin to call the winner of this series. Remember, it definitely helps C9 to get the 2-0 here as they move towards that playoff spot.
Yep, and it'll definitely help them keep control of their own destiny.
Yeah.
As they have to play Liquid tomorrow. If they 2-0 that, they end up in that 3rd place 100%. Keep that alive. And don't allow CLG to leapfrog them.
All right, so we are onto the Rift. Ocean Drake will be first, as everybody will wander around that. Like you said, C9 maybe not wanting to get that matched up lane on this. We'll see if they do decide to swap it. KFO would easily be able to just farm up if they were able to go 1v1.
Yeah, that's the worry, but at the same time, if you don't swap it, you do have a very good early ganking jungler, and that would allow Meteos to play towards Impact, which we've seen him do more and more lately. Remember their last set that they played last week, where he was camping top, he shut down, I believe it was Seraph, and allowed Impact just to roll over those matchups. It doesn't look like anybody's going to go for those lane swap wards, though, and it's probably going to be a standard start here. For Meteos, it'll most likely be a Gromp over to his red side jungle and skip his blue buff. Gromp Wolves Raptors. Gromp Raptors red. Oh. Okay. He's just petting his tail. It's a good Rek'Sai.
Friendly dancing. Well, that's not nice.
It's a different relationship down here.
Well, everybody is friendly today. I'm ready to go. Is it? It's not Storm Raiders. I was wondering if Froggen would take that. He goes Thunderlord to mid lane. We've seen it swap back and forth every so often, depending on if you really just want to crush your lane out as soon as you get that ult. And it looks like we actually will get the matched up lane, so we'll have to see what the junglers can provide in this situation, but as well if KFO can get a good start and actually be a huge carry for the team, as like they put into Froggen, I should say.
Yeah, and Froggen has been very consistent in his games. He's always had pretty much the highest damage every time. Oop. Yeah, just punishing Smoothie, but Keith, the damage on your AD carry is definitely a lot more worth unless you end up going for like a flash and trying to get that crit shot onto Smoothie.
And there's bits of sustain for Smoothie once they start leveling in those little relics, or the shrines rather, so they can absorb this a little bit. But as well, you can see how frantically they're trying to thread in those autos, thread in the attacks, Has to get the last hit, misses the Q, because you're still trying to get the CS when you get it in here. I love when lanes happen.
This may be a bottom lane visit from Meteos. He went from Gromp to Wolves to Red, standard Rek'Sai route to gank bottom. If they're trading heavily, you always want to trade before your jungler comes in, because he's coming in at full HP. If they're coming in at like 3/4, they're going to get killed. Meteos looking for exactly that play.
Hard's looking for that in the mid lane as well. Which one is going to work first? The flash in, they're looking at Big on the right. Focus is on Keith on the left, though, and they don't have enough damage. Jensen just has to walk himself down. Does use his ghost to get out of that situation.
Yeah, and Sneaky actually gets chunked out simultaneously. Yeah. So overall, C9 avoiding a gank in the mid lane because of the pressure from Hard, and Hard's going to actually walk around, find a ward for himself, and look for a repeat gank here, but he is spotted out by Meteos.
Jensen does. I was going to say, Jensen doesn't even want to play with this because Hard is ready to activate the initiation. So now Meteos can say flash down. They have the 5-minute mark on that as well for Hard, too.
Exactly. This is actually a better trade of summoner spells, though, for Fox, in my opinion, because the jungler flashes down, your mid laner, both mobility summoners.
Yep.
So Froggen had to blow one, and then you blew your junglers, but then the bottom lane didn't actually have to use a summoner at all except for that heal. That's the only one that they had to use. No flashes, so Meteos' time in the bottom side, maybe not as effective as he would have wanted it to be, but still, your Ezreal gets it back on a tier timing, which is exactly what you want for your bottom lane.
A bit ahead in that CS.
KFO's in trouble, like in big trouble.
He's staying for the fight, feeling like the W could really give him the upper hand. The minion wave is in his favor, but he doesn't have enough time to even auto. And Impact says, thanks for the minion wave.
That's usually a miserable matchup as well for the Shen. That's huge. If Impact is able to win that by himself, that just means that KFO, you know, he's got some work to do here. He's going to go back to the lane. I feel like he could have waited as well for full HP, but to each their own.
I was actually just going to mention that. I think it was a thing of KFO saying, I have a W to heal, so I'll get low. But at a certain point, that heal only brings you up so much. So you're still in a really tough spot. And he just let himself get too low, disregarding Impact's power in front of the turret. And coming back with low health, probably won't bite him in the butt. He'll regen back up here, but yeah, playing much safer now.
He's got to be super careful, though, because why does the enemy Shen stick around when he's alone with that HP? You have to be a little bit cautious of it.
Smoothie stepping up front, making sure the minions are easy in the method and madness to hitting under a turret. Hard picks up blue, but doesn't look like they're really giving too much more pressure towards mid, actually, on those summoners. Just warding to make sure Froggen doesn't get any ganks on himself. Big to the mid lane is pushed off as well. So, while Cloud9 is protecting Jensen, looks like Fox is setting up the wards to maybe go back in.
And KFO setting up as well. No TP for Impact. Used it to get back to lane to shove his wave out even harder.
Good CS lead. Will have a level lead, which may allow him to stand united across the map before they before they think the teleport is back up.
Yeah, also the fact that Gangplank usually has an answer in the Cannon Barrage.
That's true.
But he won't have that available if it's a level 6 right on time. Stand united.
So neither of those guys can really give each other too much trouble at the turret, but that is the 6 for Impact. That window must be called now by KFO in the top lane, so Fox does not go outside their boundaries and engage. But every lane right now for C9 is pushed up. Meteos is able to farm and have a field day, and Hard is looking to make one of these lanes get pushed back or get something back.
Hard's being very active. I'll give him that. It's been a rough split for Fox, and a lot of it has been the junglers figuring out what they need to do at what times in the game. And he's been good at monitoring the vision. He's been constantly smiting the Raptors and countering Meteos when he sees him on the map.
Oh, he hits the barrel. Nicely done. Also counting as well KFO's barrels at this level and how many he's going to be using. Really keeping tabs on that to win the matchup.
Yeah, KFO, he actually has his work cut out for him against Impact. Impact seems to have played this matchup a lot.
Yeah.
And knowing the priorities there, hitting the barrel more than hitting that Gangplank, even if you get the pull through with the Q, you really want to swing at him with that percent HP damage. But nope, ends up going for the actual just auto on the barrel and is well placed.
See if Meteos can make a difference. The knock-up.
There's no flash for KFO either. He had to blow it earlier in 1v1, which might be his undoing because Jensen's coming up with Ghost.
Ooh, so if they show Jensen late
And
and
it's
hit
taunt
Meteos
flash.
first, he gets the orange out of Meteos, and there it is. Now the crowd control can stick, and they are on KFO one after the other and systematically take him down as Fox tries to activate something in the bot lane.
And that's all because Impact got the 1v1 flash out of KFO, and they punished it. Now he doesn't have TP to get back to lane. It's an even bigger advantage for this top laner, who can spill it over so easily into other lanes with the Stand United.
This composition looked scary when C9 was drafting it.
Yeah.
There's so many possibilities at every point of the game, but you're also stacking tiers at the same time, so it's super dangerous. Especially when you get a bit of a lead, it makes it work even better. Fox is going to try to answer back now, knowing C9's taking a breather, spending some of that cash money. Fox is going to go ahead and pick up Ocean Drake. Definitely help out hard. Froggen stay in the lanes a little bit longer if we're getting pushed out.
Yeah, KFO definitely needs it as well. He's taking a lot of harass.
That's a good point.
Shen is winning the matchups based off of that mostly. He's getting these trades where Shen will lose the matchup if he's not aggressive and he's passive. Oh, Smoothie. Almost dead. Oh!
So Smoothie, Stand United.
Just what the doctor ordered for him. Whew.
Very close.
Gets out with the help of Impact. So Impact's going to have to walk his way back up to that top side. Gives KFO some time, but I don't think he's going to miss any creeps.
Right. And those kind of things are super annoying as well if they continue to happen. So there's a point in a game when that happens 3 times. The 4th time, maybe you will go for the guy because you want the kill, because it's happened so many times. Those kind of things can really sway your mind in the way you take to a situation. Hopefully for Fox, they can solidify those next kills so they don't fall into that pit. Let's see, it's only 1 for now, 9 minutes in. However, Cloud9 is working the map very well, and if they can start getting this vision in, they'll shut down Fox even more.
Meteos hanging around that red buff. Quite ahead of Hard at the moment. I want to say he's about a full level up. Yeah, he's a full level up. Full bar. And he still has his flash available. Hard used his twice now for failed ganks, ones that did not result in any kills. And he's not going for those Ionian Boots of Lucidity first build. He's going for that Tracker's Knife, trying to ward up Meteos' jungle. Meteos went for the Sight Stone. Don't want to have that disadvantage.
Oh, how much is it worth?
Okay.
How much is it worth, Hard? Almost goes down. He'll be fine. He's good.
Just barely. 26 HP there. Getting out by the skin of his teeth. Does get a summoner spell for it, but
yeah.
Now he's off the map. He has no presence, and you can see KFO has to back up because they don't know where Meteos is. And Meteos actually gets the flash out of Froggen in the mid lane.
All right, so fight in top and in bottom. Teleports are up, as well as Void Rush for Meteos to make it anywhere he wants. Sneak is going to have to take damage here. And they turn that one quickly around. A nice tempered fake, because that may have been someone's death.
Nicely played there. Ends up still reducing the cooldown of the curtain call because it counts as being canceled.
Good to know.
But still. Means he doesn't have to dodge around or anybody take any extra damage. It's a big counter to Jhin. That and Ashe we can hit him with an arrow, but this is much easier.
I think something's going to happen.
Yeah, it's probably going to be 5 people in the bot lane.
Wards, however, wards are your friend. It may stop Fox from really getting anything out of this. Not sure that they know. Jensen's just over the wall. Again, Hard puts himself really deep, and this time they get away with a bit more HP, so they can fight another day.
Yeah, it looked like it would have been a good situation for Fox because Smoothie was just so low. He didn't have his Tempered Fate available. You may have been able to pull something out there, even with just an ultimate from KFO. But now they're just going to try to get priority on the bottom side. Hard spotted out in the jungle, but he's still just kind of cruising around. He's doing this a lot. What do I do?
Waiting to see Camps back up. Obviously saw the Raptor blip. And then he can walk down there and realize he was on a ward. Oh. Usually you see it the other way around. When Gangplank hits the barrel, your HP disappears. Not Gangplank's. Good lord.
They have to be careful because Hard will take this fight on the bottom side.
Word. Look at the wards on the bottom side here for Fox. They pretty much know they can just keep going. Arcane shift over. Sneaky back to the other side. Every summoner's been used. The Shrine on Sneaky from Smoothie as well. And they are holding each other dearly behind the turret as they take down Hard.
And Smoothie ends up blocking the Deadly Flourish on top of it. It's an actual just linear skill shot. It hits the first person. It did not hit multiple people.
Still trying to go for it. Keith's low on mana here. Doesn't mean he can't auto attack, and they still look like they want a little bit more, but Cloud9 pulls off. We'll see it again.
Absolutely crazy. Sneaky's the target. 1 hit, 2 hits, saves it. Gets the E off, flashes the opposite side, is on the other side, takes the Thunderlords, and would have died to the W, but Smoothie right on top of it. Absolutely insane that he lives through that.
Those are those things, Irene. You almost get a kill, but it doesn't come through.
It's what Tilt is made of.
Every time. KFO now looks like he's going to get a bite from the Queen, and Medios will make that happen. Nice shot under the turret as he steps off to the side.
Yeah, still looked like he was having some fun there. Doesn't give an assist over to Impact and wastes a little bit of Jensen time. This turret takes some damage. But now Cloud9 are just eking out advantages here and here. It's almost 2,000. Really early on in this game, they're just getting these 3 kills just mostly off of the back of Impact.
Right, the global presence we talked about, the Rek'Sai, the Shen already. Medios can Void Rush down. Impact there with a Stand United. And Fox, they had the wards for that play. They had everything. They had the vision to go down there. And you don't expect people to get away with a combined 200 HP between 2 people.
Yeah, and I even give him some credit for that last kill that went on to KFO because he was zoning him from actually retreating to his own turret.
Right.
From a very awkward angle where you don't expect him to come from. That's kind of awkward too.
Fox is relentless. Hard over the wall, says I'll dodge something, but I found a mobile vision ward in Medios.
You really need to activate Froggen. Froggen is just zoning or roaming as much as he can.
Yeah, got a CS lead in that.
Yeah, he's got a CS lead. He's at 10 per minute, so he's doing a really good job. He has his upgrade all the way up, so he's already at that point where it's going to chase you down. The Chaos Storm is incredibly fast. People are still on boots 1. Cassiopeia, no boots ever.
It is going to be a Cloud Drake next. That's still quite warded up here by Fox. They've almost kind of said, KFO, you got to do your own thing in the top lane. We are going to start focusing bottom.
Yeah, it's a little strange that they sack that lane. I expect them to play more towards the middle side of the map. The bottom lane, it is actually okay to play to that one too, but I still feel as though mid-bot with that type of focus and allowing KFO to salvage the situation is the best plan of action, but I mean, it went rough for him. Usually that's a good matchup.
Right, and it's the thing we kind of came into the match saying is, do Fox double down on Froggen, or do they find that new strategy and new way to kind of get themselves through a mid-game slump? Here, they're trading Dragons now for Herald. This will make Impact even bigger, so that's going to be tough for KFO in that sense.
Yeah, and if he can get it, probably no steal from a Cannon Barrage or anything, so we'll go over to Impact, and that's just going to be a nail in the coffin there. Well, maybe not the final one for KFO, but it's definitely another nail.
They're still waiting for a big fight. Cloud9 has been able to find these kind of counter-attack kills, one after the other. Impact did have his solo in the top, but where's the 5v5? Fox still charging up, as well as Cloud9. Probably get a pretty volatile fight when it comes to. Might see our first turrets go down, but as I say that, Cannon Barrage stops it right in its tracks.
Exactly. That's actually really good. He puts that Cannon Barrage on the bottom, clears the way of delays, because now they're doing a delayed lane swap where your AD carry got an advantage bottom by getting that turret, put him up against the next structure in line, go to that top side.
Fox looking for turret number 2 now. C9 backing off of this. So Fox, maybe no kills, but they're able to clean up the gold around the map. This outer ring of turrets is going to be their funding for now. We'll see what they can do with it.
I think you keep pushing here as well.
Looking at that push to the bot lane, Sneaky.
All the way to the turret. Go to where Impact is. Make sure he doesn't have this crazy Stand United play available to him. And nope, they're just going to back off. They have no idea where Medios is. He could be behind them. Because those pink wards and that control that Cloud9 have of their topside jungle, it ends up with just a small push.
And I feel like when something happens good, like as Fox moves here, Cloud9 is already saying, all right, they move top. They push that. And in the next few minutes, Cloud9 may have mid, this second tier, and something else.
Yeah, this is actually really interesting because Froggen, he roams down to the bottom side of the map to pick up this wave, and I actually don't see this enough from teams where the mid laner is willing to shove up mid and then run to a lane that's being pushed in, because he may have been able to do that move right there on the bottom tier 1 and maybe save it, but it is a very risky move because he can get 3-man dove at that point. If he was the team that had the Shen, then it's definitely a good move.
We'll see if that comes through and takes next time. KF on too much Shen. But after seeing what Impact's doing, you can say, I can do damage on that guy. We'll make it happen.
Can he, though?
Can he? We'll see. Wards all along that top side show you what Fox had had in mind, I should say. They've gotten that turret. Now they're looking for the mid lane to open it up. Fox hard has not been in that bottom side of the jungle for quite some time now. Seems like they kind of gave up on that since the turret had gone down. They got what they wanted out of it. It's all about that fight, though. I'm still waiting to see this 5v5. A bit of that golden gap has been closed by Fox here.
Yeah, they got a turret up, and it was not answered by Cloud9 because they got that bottom turret for free, and then Fox initiated a lane swap to try and just get everybody a little bit of a boost in gold in the game, get them closer to those power spikes. Well, looks like they may want to cut off Impact, but I feel like that's just really ambitious, so just going to get control of the jungle and lose their top turret. This is the advantage that they have, and it's probably going to be gone now. They have to dive mid. They have to do something here, but it's the Shen. The Shen could stop the Cassiopeia from actually going down. And Fox, it's kind of like the whole chicken with their head cut off thing right now. Like, they're losing their top turret, and they aren't getting anything. That was what they had going for them. And that's not even just a standard, like, oh, now we're, like, continuing the lane swap. That's, we could have put our AD carry back in the top side and answered and defended this turret. They're going for the greedy tier 2 here, and that's the plan. That's the play.
Oh, Impact isn't even taking that much damage. It's going to be 1 for 1 in the top, 1 for 3 in the bot, and everybody pretty much misses Impact. He gets some time to dance around now, and the crowd control leaves him standing. Mid's going to be pushed here by Jensen, and Fox has to, again, scramble back to something that didn't work. Trying to put resources in the bot lane has fizzled out.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Fizzles out, and now it's at 101 in the top side. And Sneaky's been able to just get free farm for a bit. He also got solo turret gold earlier. Still some gold into KFO, but overall, now that the turret was even back up, you can see that gold advantage goes back to where it was.
There's the roam from Jensen. Looks like he's warding up. Stealing Raptors.
He can't let Froggen get too far ahead of him. Just every CS, you know, just take the little ones, pad your CS. You know, I'm at 300. 100 of those might be little Raptors, but it doesn't matter. Game counts.
Very true. C9 taking their time to back for the advantages. 2K being spent there onto Jensen. Gets himself built up. There's about 1,000 gold in the top 3 members of Fox, KFO, Hard, and Froggen, so they're still kind of waiting. This team always likes to bring it to that late game and see where they can get their mechanics in the fight, if that's where they can grab an advantage.
Yeah, I feel as though Froggen is waiting for that Rylai's Crystal Scepter buy, but looks like he'll back now. Probably pick up the Giant's Belt. Get one step closer to completing that item. Oh, or he actually had the gold for it. Okay, so more than 1,000 was available for him.
Pretty nice Miramana finish as well for Sneaky.
Yeah, actually 20 minutes, 21 minutes. Rather quick for him. He got that solo turret gold, so he was able to get the item right quick. Sports his Iceborne. Oh my god, KFO. KFO! Knocked out.
So well played. Not even a miss. Not a stopped auto attack. Just very clean play on the Shen.
That feels awful. Wow, Impact, 3 kills now, Rift Herald buff on top of it. Like, I swear this matchup, it doesn't favor Shen that much. Because every time you taunt, he's gonna orange out of it, and then he's able to harass you down, use barrels and the like, but this is just a matchup that KFO is getting outplayed in.
The Ghost chases him in, Stand United as well. They have so many things to prevent the initiations or even the pickoff from Fox. They would give them a little bit of an opening.
Echo Fox, I feel like they wanted that second Cloud Drake really badly because their rotations are always just a little bit late. You can see like Froggen, he's been roaming, even with the one Cloud Drake, he roams to the side lane, and then he kind of calls it off because it's like, maybe I'm not there in time, or maybe we're not actually engaging in time, or the wave in mid is getting pushed too fast. It's like if he's there just a little bit faster, you get to pull the trigger on that play, and it's all relative too, so he'd be much faster than his opponents in that rotation.
No matter what, sneaky to the side lane. Cloud9 always having it. He does have a global ult. It may not be the Ashe Arrow. Jensen with a very nice directional flash to safety there. Once he was forced into the fight by the displacement of Hard. And it looks like the team will gather for this. Sneaky is going to slightly push, but also back and forth to go into that mid lane.
That's going to be KFO going back down to the bottom side to catch the wave eventually. And they got the summoner spells out of Jensen, but Froggen didn't have ulti, so it was mostly to get that summoner spell out and trade yours as a jungler for the mid laners. And I feel like Hard did that at the start of the game, and then he didn't revisit the lane.
That happens quite a few times. It always brings me back to hearing Prolly say to H2K during a playoff reel before he went to playoffs is, if you blow a flash, you go back to that lane. You do not let 5 minutes go to waste.
Exactly.
You do something to that lane, and a lot of times you see it fizzle out.
Yeah, a lot of times, even in like solo queue or something like that, you gank a lane, you get the flash, and then you're like, all right, you're on your own, brother.
Yeah.
Hopefully you could kill him. And then you're like, hey, I blew his flash 5 minutes ago. Why wasn't he dead? It's like you have to come back for that.
Yeah.
You have to really make his life a living hell, and they don't do that.
And that's exactly what pretty much KFO got this game.
You can't be nice. You have to be really mean in League of Legends as a jungler. Like, how many times have you been camped and you just
advocating being toxic?
No, I'm saying that, you know, you test other people for their toxicity by camping them.
So what you're saying is no mercy.
Just tilt them.
Just tilt them. We will see. You are the king of salt. I will listen.
I'm the Sultan.
The Sultan. 2K gold lead now for Cloud9 as they have kind of not hit a wall, but are taking their time. I'm sure they have an in on a few of these fights, but they don't want to give Fox a chance to actually get one of the kills. It's 4-0 for a reason, and because Cloud9 is playing very safe in their attacks.
Yeah, and it's seriously, 3 of those deaths are KFO, 3 of those kills are being picked up, or were picked up on impact. Like,
This is true.
you can't fight him right now if you're KFO. I don't know if anybody on Fox can actually fight him. You pretty much have to wave clear against him. And even then, you can't send your Victor to do that because it's double global from this Shen. He'll be able to pull off a move that helps his team, whereas the Victor would have to just roam every single time a play might happen, and he would still be late.
All right, resources getting picked up. I feel like Cloud9 may be approaching a point where they could bait out one of these objectives. Start picking off Fox one by one.
Ooh, I actually like this. Meteos goes for the Ruby Sightstone as a jungler. So very early buy there. It actually has a lot of HP. It's 500 now. And the activatable part, people don't even care about it that much. It was reduced in cost, so it just became more stat efficient in the first place. Also allows them to carry 4 wards. So tons of vision here.
Well, for Smoothie, you see that more on supports, but
yeah. I was very surprised when it first changed over. Nobody in Europe was really doing it. NA, there was like 1 or 2 people, and it was only melee supports that were doing it. And now it's definitely increased in popularity.
rubies everywhere. Tarek is happy.
Oh boy, he hit Heath already. Impact looking for the taunts.
Oh, Meteos actually got pulled back by the gravitational field there, and he could not get the pop-up he wanted. But look at how Cloud9 is kind of lining themselves up. They get into the river, knowing that fighting in the Tri-Bust was a terrible position. They put themselves in a much better area, and a much better dodging area as well for that curtain call.
Yeah, cancels the last few shots on that. And just back to dancing around that Baron.
All right. Cloud against the Scuttle.
They end up getting the Scuttle grab. Oh, flash knockup!
Meteos hits it in hard to Jensen and Smoothie on the back line. They try to spread, and now the spread and the focus is onto Hard as he gets taunted down. Sneaky's on the outside. He's actually holding 4 off because he can slow them with the gauntlet, and they know they can't get through. Hard is a loss in that fight, and they have to start backing up to defend mid.
Yeah, Hard just went in way too far, and it looked like he was trying to get his team to help him. No cannon barrage from KFO, and Hard doesn't flash out when play starts going south. He ends up in a 4-on-1. So, definitely not ideal.
Retreating down for Cloud9 there was much easier than Fox trying to retreat up or back into.
Well, Fox wanted them to follow them up and to the left.
Right.
Choke points for Victor. Because like Froggen didn't even use ultimate, none of those things.
Exactly.
Because this is a team that wants to fight you in chokes. You want to be able to section people off. Because Gragas barrels even work better in choke points with the explosive cast. Because half of them are going to go to the front, half of them are going to go back. Left or right really doesn't matter too much. In open area, it does.
And Meteos takes advantage of the funnel as well.
Yeah, it's such a good play here. Froggen gets caught, Meteos sees it, flash knock up there, and then they all go up except for Hard. And Hard's like, oh god!
Yeah.
I mean, that's his own gravity field. He could have maybe flashed back up and then explosive cast people away from him. He would have been on the grounded effect afterwards, not before. So he did have the opportunity to do so.
The dominoes start to fall. For Fox, Cloud9 now trying to pick up the Baron. It doesn't look like they'll meet too much resistance.
Well, Hard is on the bottom side. He's over at the Ocean Drake.
Okay,
Gonna go for a pick, Smoothie!
A lot of resistance, actually. The ultimate from KFO was spot on with the Baron damage. Smoothie makes it out by the skin of his teeth, and it looks like they may actually be able to walk out of this one. Impact is going to take days to take down if they really chase him in this fight, and he should be able to walk out quite easily.
Yeah, they're looking for the turret damage right now. The Baron buff goes over to Cloud9. They continue to deal damage to that Baron, and now it's get Ocean Drake for Fox. They think they're going to have enough time here to actually get to it and take it down before Cloud9 meet them. Cloud9, they have multiple options. They can fight him here, they can go down mid, but it looks like it might be the fight.
There's a ping just behind them that says go blue. Fox was pinging right into that area, so everybody knows which way to disengage, make their way back to the base, and get to mid.
Yeah, they have to go up and around though, so this mid turret unfortunately doesn't have a wave for Cloud9, so they have to clear it out. And even though they take the long way, Fox are able to defend their turret for just a little bit longer, but is bearing buffed up minions.
Then you can see inventory sometimes show intent as well. 4 pink wards ready to be moved up by Cloud9. They're ready to defend those as well as they move up. Cloud9 are feeling good.
They're feeling really good here, especially since TL ended up losing their match today. Cloud9 could really just make TL not in contention for that third place spot.
Scary thing when you're sometimes not in control. And Cloud9 is the one that really has everything that they can do in their hands. Right now looking good for a game 1 win in this match against Echo Fox, as they have spread what was an 800 gold lead now to 5,000 in their favor.
Yeah, and this was really close to being, in terms of scoreline, like a 5-3. Like, Impact has saved people multiple times. Smoothie almost went down. Didn't even get Stan United that time, too. Very, very close to being a 5-3 in kills. And also Fox, they kind of squandered their lead. When they had that turret advantage, they swapped and got damage on the tier 2 bottom, which they've never been able to revisit.
You see even KFO.
Still not enough damage to actually clear out the caster just yet. They have to ulti with Victor.
It makes it so tough, expecting this team to have incredible wave clear, and it's just not coming through. A few tags onto Key. Sneaky Meteos hitting the correct target immediately, and it rushes out the rest of Fox. They have to disengage without really the DPS there. It's going to be hard. KFO's not putting out too much. Froggen is the last line of defense here, and they're trying to scramble to keep those two guys alive with Big and Hard.
I feel like they hold on to so many things, like KFO's ultimate, Froggen's heal, Big's exhaust. There's a lot of tools here that you're able to use early on in these fights, maybe even save your team member.
It's got to be a point where you pull the trigger. Even if everybody's not on the same page, you still got to go with that call. 6-0 here. The turrets have fallen, but Cloud9 has managed to stay on their feet the entire game. Taking down the first inhibitor now and not looking to fall anytime soon.
Yeah, and after getting that Baron, that Ocean Drake call from Hard, and Froggen showing up there, pretty easy for them to make the call for that. And that gets them this. Taking a lot of damage there. Keith just gets blown up. And Jensen off on the side too. So yeah, Hard also blew the explosive cast, but it wasn't as effective as you would have wanted it to be. It just seems like these fights are just not going Fox's way. And if they're playing for team fights when they have so many opportunities in the early game to actually get these advantages and keep those advantages, the team fights aren't in your favor. It's like, what are you playing for? At that point, you're not playing to win. You're playing to not lose.
Yeah. Waiting for Super Minions now to push into the top side. Cloud9 taking their time.
Right now, go. Body slam, flash.
There's
You
two
can
in the
get
bot.
Jensen.
It could be a big journey that comes through here from Smoothie, but they decide to disengage right away. Fox still realizes that losing a fight out here could be worse than losing one back where you can defend under a turret.
But they have to allocate the right people to the right places. They send both KFO and Froggen towards the bot side, and now this mid turret takes a lot of damage because Froggen's not there to actually wave clear. Did it? Show it. Ah.
Whoa! The Cutlass as well. KFO has not been respecting the damage surrounding him throughout the game. And at this point, standing way too close to things, they just can completely take him down.
KFO's so squishy, and it's this Gangplank just being so far behind. I mean, he would have been like maybe one more level, but it's still being blown up. Squishy build. Not able to actually put pressure on this Ezreal from Sneaky that's 3 levels up himself and has been getting a lot of that sideways farm. Talking about they put him in a side wave every time.
Always. There were pings on the side wave when they were actually taking that top inhibitor. It was crazy. Cloud9 knows what they need to do next. The curtain call comes down. Keith trying to stand his ground in the backside and the inhibitor turret onto Impact. The best person here for Cloud9. Everybody's taking the journey and the tether doesn't even lock. Meteo's down. Could Smoothie be the first to fall? They still make it out alive, and Hard is gonna go just that for Jensen. He gets on, Jensen throws down the miasma slow, and nobody can get to him. They turn around to try and fight this as Meteos goes back in as well. And they can't decide if they want to stop the fight or not, and Fox is in the same position.
Froggen really bold right now. Impact still doesn't take too much damage from him, but he'll get enough rotations off with the Rylai's. Gets him over the wall with the Shadow Dash.
Ridiculous. If it would have been him for the first guy to go down, that would have been even crazier. But here's this already. Cutlass at the end as well, blocking the kill. Ooh. Actually, didn't even get the parlay off. That hurts.
Yeah, no crits in there or anything like that. That's just straight up. Full damage right in the face.
7-0, 3-0, and 2 as Impact had just that in the early game. Absolutely ridiculous. Calling Hard up, which actually made the bot lane easier for Sneaky and Smoothie. Then the top lane was kind of given up, which gave it to Impact because they kind of left KFO on an island and tried to help out Keith and Big. And again, Froggen was just left to farm against Jensen in the mid lane, decide whether to rotate. And they didn't really work a lane on the side of Fox.
I definitely think that Impact is a lot of the catalyst for why everything happened the way it did. Because he created his own advantage. He got that flash very early on from KFO, and then it just made him pretty much unduelable from that point forward after Meteos had the return gang.
We heard a little bit of these guys coming in. No reason to ever play a lax game. Gotta stay strong, gotta stay focused. It looks like they're doing that right here. It'd be pretty impressive if they can get through this without dying at all with the amount of DPS that you'd see from a Gragas, a Gangplank, a Victor, a Jhin, and nobody on your team falls means you were doing something real right the entire time. Avoiding all the dangerous spots and actually causing Fox to really march the beat of C9's drum, fighting in all of C9's choke points, and C9 disengages until they get that fight that they want. They've done it every time this game.
And Fox have had to rethink their whole approach to League of Legends during this game because the Shen ultimate, every time you want to gank bottom, it's a big problem.
Right.
Then C9 actually went to the source of their global at the start of the game instead of the side lanes. And it's something that you don't always expect, but Impact was able to just carve out his own advantage like we said. And now, more gold! Just gave him 20 gold.
Oh, man.
He's a monster.
It's one of those things that feels really satisfying, but is ultimately incredibly frustrating.
That turret
for
tickles
that.
it.
Yeah, it's not doing too much right now. Level 17, he is just about the highest in the game.
Oh my god, he's gonna try to kill him under the turret!
To solo him under the turret. There's the orange. He gets out. And he's definitely has to use the Shadow Dash to get himself to safety.
Oh, here goes Froggen.
Minus that, the minion wave comes in. He's the first death. Impact goes a bit too hard. The team's going to get something big out of this, I think. They could really play this one in not the right way. Fox is taking advantage of 2 now being down in Cloud9. Get a little scatterbrain for a second.
Yeah, and Fox end up getting those 2 kills, and now they get pressure off of them. Impact was trying to create enough pressure to actually prevent the stopping of Baron. Froggen came up, so his plan was pretty much perfect, but the execution is usually not requiring you to take 80% of your HP and turret damage. So bit of a mistake there from Impact. He won't be up for 20 seconds. This Baron can take some good damage. They have more DPS than Impact has Death Timer to get back up, so.
The 50-50 is there.
Oh.
Level 15 to 14, Meteos' smite is going to be stronger, but they pull off a Baron. Gravity Field gets Meteos. Jensen's popped in, and that's the 5v5. Fox was looking to group, get the displacement in their fight. Teleport coming in, that's the stand united onto Sneaky. Froggen's gonna get hit, his shield comes out from the Q. He stays alive, Impact looking for one last attack. It is gonna be Fox's Baron, and Froggen keeps himself alive with the flash as well. Looking for more speed from the minions. He's just trying to buy time and delay Impact from getting back, delay C9 from getting more, and Fox have some defense in the base now.
Oh man, they don't have a top inhibitor turret though. So C9, despite not having the Baron, they can barrel down this top lane, and it'll be a 3-on-4. Trying to muscle down this inhibitor and get themselves a little bit of respite here.
Take a little bit longer to take down these super minions, or rather Baron minions, I should say, but it's not that much defense. I made it sound like it was going to be grand for Fox. They're really just cleared out with the power that Cloud9's bringing already. A curtain call immediately to stop that from going down, and we'll see this Baron once again.
It was almost a 10,000 gold advantage for C9, and now it's about 6,000 after the fight. Jensen, ultis KFO and hard, but it's Froggen and Keith that are really doing all the damage in this fight, and that barrel backwards right into their face. KFO gets the back of the pit, he's taking some damage, big, gets blown up there. By the Baron mostly. And then Froggen just sectioned off on the wrong side. Sneaky would have gone over the wall to kill him anyway, and Froggen, despite a little bit of a stutter step there by accident.
Sometimes you say worth, sometimes you relook at things and realize that Fox blew just about every flash to get out of that play, and you look at C9 side, and they're ready to flash even more. On those bottom side of Jensen, Sneaky, and Smoothie could be playmakers or saving a play as well. So Fox, they do have Baron, but they have to play even more careful now for the next few minutes.
Yeah, and this Elder Dragon comes up for a minute 15. And now they're going to try to push and get some advantage here, but you have to be careful. KFO, now the same level as Impact, so it's not going to be that big of a deal in the level department, and generating extra gold, so he's not actually behind at all. It's in terms of gold, Impact is actually behind KFO by 200 now. Gangplank things. Most disadvantage is Sneaky in that jungle.
I mean, that's what you look for, right? Get that scaling, get your Gangplank built up. It would be crazy to see a KFO come out strong in this. The mental that he had to endure in the early game to know that there's still an end to this. I can still get big. It possibly could be coming up. Tempered Fate locks down a good amount of members of the team. That's hard. As fast as that, it turns back around for Cloud9, but can they finish it off? As Fox tries to draw them back into choke points. The river's quite open in favor of C9 here, possibly, but they are very low, and they do have to start to back off. One is down. Where can C9 move?
Yeah, they end up getting the jungler off of the field, though, for 30 seconds. Elder Dragon is up in 10, so the smite, no chance of that actually going over, but I don't think they're going to do it. It's so hard to do. Their health bars are low, and that gives Fox a little bit of time to shove in these minion waves.
These Ocean Drakes are great for Fox right now, too. If these fights go a
little
back and forth, as long as they don't keep losing one member, they can do this for a while.
And Hart was the one that had Flash, too. He's the only member of the team that had Flash, and he's the one who got caught by Meteos.
Yeah, that's right. Got to be careful when those summoners are about to come up or not. Whoa, they run up to Impact. That's a hit on the gravity field. That's Keith down. The DPS from Jin no longer in the fight. KFO is running towards the high ground with Froggen right now, and Meteos is going to give them a little bit of hell. The team is also chasing. Impact is cutting them off, but he's also going to meet up with Hard.
Well, Froggen's just sitting in this bush. What is he doing? He's just going to try to go for like a hero play? Impact is so tanky.
He just taunts right through. He knows where they are. They put down the far sight trinket immediately for a perfect taunt. No engage coming from Fox as they are both looking at Impact. And he again comes up with a huge play on the forefront of these with Meteos, who is also not stopping as Smoothie blows Hard's flash. They're inside the base again.
It's absolutely crazy. Hard has explosive cast. You can run up towards your jungler who has a disengage tool, but they try to go for the hero play. They hope that Sneaky checks or something like that. but they don't get it, and that was desperation there from Fox.
Hard tries, a great explosive cast.
Pours
for the
one out.
Entire party, that's all though. Pours one out for the homies as he goes down. And it looks like they're going for a few more points on the fantasy list as they take down the Nexus turrets. Cloud9 with a few mishaps towards the end of the game, but they right the ship once again and get themselves back into Fox's base just over 42 minutes as they start to get on the Nexus. I don't think they're going to be stopping anytime soon. 16-3, Cloud9 takes game 1 over Echo Fox.
Echo Fox had opportunities, but they didn't take them. Early game advantage as well off of the turrets, but Cloud9